Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cinema and Theatre Break Show, where we keep it 100% Kenyan cinema and theatre. And today I'm sitting here with one of those actors in Kenya that when you see his image on a movie poster is a must-watch movie. So this guy, he's been in this industry for quite some time. And as they say, when you see Justin in it, it's lit. So today we are sitting here with him and you're talking about his new project, Shadows, and other projects that he has been able to do along the way in this industry. Welcome to Cinema and Theatre Break Show, Justin.
Thank you, Lodeki.
Karibu
it's a pleasure.
sana.
Ni poa mazeku hapa.
Yes.
Yeah.
And finally, you're among those actors nimekuwa nao kwa list. I've always wanted to sit down and have a conversation with you to know how has the journey been, manze? Because I fell in love with your craft from days Lies That Bind, State House, those back in the days. And you've been able to do quite amazing things. Recently, we watched you on Wedding Planner, Disconnect the Wedding Planner, amazing film on Netflix. And then I saw you on Shimoni, and now you're on Shadows. And I mean, among many other films, Maze, how has the journey been all along?
It's been delightful. It's been tough. It's been a growth curve, really, because I can definitely tell you I'm not the man I was maybe 15 years ago when I started. Amazing. Yeah, so I don't know. You know, it's been it's life. Amazing. It's work and it's life. Yes.
Joining this industry, you've been here almost now 2 decades. What can you say about the current state of Kenyan film industry now?
That's a very good question.
I'm not putting you in the spotlight. Your thoughts on it?
My thoughts on the the state of the film industry in Kenya?
Yes, the current state of film industry in Kenya. Looking at it when you joined and now.
I think the thing that's been constant is that we have potential for growth. So that is always a plus. I just think it is important for us to get to a point where we exploit that potential, where we actually get better, where we move from the way we used to do things back then to a new way of doing things. Honestly, I'll tell you, I've tried to stay away from you know, all the politics and a lot of the goings on. But I think we're building something. I think more work is coming with the streamers that are available in the country right now, with people doing content for YouTube and other online platforms, people coming from outside to shoot here. So I think as well as we move along, it's just for policy makers to do a better job. It is for us to grow our skill, expand our horizons, so to speak. Yeah, I think in a way we're heading in the right direction. Yes. Yes.
Very amazing. Now we are having that said. Now we know the current state. Justin has been here for quite some time. Joining this industry, you are also a stage performer.
Yes.
And most guys that I've seen in this industry that have stayed or have stick to their craft for long time possible, they are actors who started in theater. Is it true that most actors who start in theater and now transition to TV tend to stay longer in the industry and they are more disciplined than those that just start on TV?
Well, if you ask the guys who started from theater, they'll definitely tell you that that's the case.
You are among of the guys. Did you start from theater or you went through to TV?
No, I actually started with TV.
Oh, amazing.
Entirely by accident, but TV was where I started. And after maybe 5 years of TV, then I got into theater. It was a very interesting... I don't know whether to call it a transition. Like breaking into theater when you've been doing TV is tough because you see for TV, it's about the camera. That's the eye of the viewer. And you can focus on what you want to see on my face. You have a mic, so I don't need to project too hard. But on stage, on most theater stages, you have to project so that the person in the very corner will hear you. Your movements have to be bigger because then, you know, the space is big and people have to see what you're doing from all the way back there. So it's hard. You're coming from a TV background and you have to break into, oh, there's this, like you have to be big, you have to make it big. It feels like an exaggeration, but that's what works for theater. On the other hand, for someone who's coming from theater to come into TV, there's another struggle there because they'll be overly emphatic in their gestures, in the way they speak, speaking loudly, maybe overshooting. Unaambiwa ni aje bana, it's okay, we have a mic right there, okay? So, yeah, so learning how to direct your voice even, and your actions. And it's even for TV and film is different. And I absolutely love film. I mean, that's where I thrive. Yeah, but yeah, that's it. Ukiuliza mtu wale wa theater wa Phoenix, watasema people who have not done theater are very indisciplined. They're not hardworking and all that.
Attack.
Yeah, but I think it goes on a person-to-person basis.
Yeah.
Because a lot of those guys who started in theater way back when, we only hear of them now. They're no longer in the industry. You know, they moved on to other things. I guess for some people, you get to a point where you're like, hey, things have changed. I now have a family. How am I going to feed my kids? How am I going to pay school fees? Rent is due. And so you move on to something else. So it's not easy to stay in this industry with all that's going on, with the lack of support, largely, from many avenues. Yeah, but when you know it's what you need to do.
Yeah, but you've been here for quite some time, Justin, and what keeps you going? That you keep on, you know, you're in the industry, because doing something for more than 15 years or close to 15 years, it's not easy. Some people just come in wanaona, hey, apana, they drop. Some people come here like 5 years, they reach place wanasema, no. What kept you going?
I think just as we do life, it's a thing you wake up in the morning and decide to do. You know, it's a daily decision. So it's not that I had a 15-year plan. And it's not that I have not got to that point where I get disillusioned and I'm like, hey, this thing is not working, man. I need to do something else. But when I think of something else to do, it just does not seem viable. I don't know, I haven't been very successful at business. I did do formal work, like office jobs, for about 7 years back in the day. But it was hard to keep a job for 1 year, 2 years. I mean, it was a struggle, and not because necessarily I was indisciplined or because I was not hardworking, but it's not where I belonged. So when I landed in acting, something clicked. And even in the middle of my hard nights, tears, those days when the landlord was telling me, hey, you guy, you either pay up or you move. I mean, it's been tough, but I've been able to weather the storm because I'm passionate about it. I believe it's the thing I was made for. And thankfully, God's grace as well, because I don't know, man, you know, and I have a good support system.
You're a parent, a husband, a father.
Apparently.
Yes. How do you keep up, you know, being in the industry? Because I don't know, I don't know if it's just a notion, but it's really, really hard for creatives to keep up with the families. It's really, really hard. How do you manage it? Singing in, doing these, the long nights on set, traveling, going to film festivals, going for film premieres, and still coming back home to the family?
I think someone I really look up to, his name is Denzel Washington. And I saw a video the other day where he was saying his name is actually pronounced Denzel.
Oh, Denzel. Oh, Denzel.
But along the way, it just became
Denzel. Yeah.
So he's a guy I respect and I look up to because of the way he's done his career, his family life. And I think one thing that stood out for me that he says is that acting is a job. because sometimes we are tempted to idolize ourselves or to idolize the thing that we do, and it becomes a, you know, the end all and be all.
And be all.
You know, so that you forget that you have relationships to nurture. You forget that you have responsibilities in your personal life. And so I think what's helped me is that being able to keep a level head.
Yeah.
And remembering that it's a job. You know, I leave in the morning, I go for a shoot, I come back. I have to deal with the people in my house. Or even if I travel for a week, when I come back, they're not waiting for Justin the star or the guy who is popular. And you know, someone's looking at, this is my dad, someone's looking at, this is my husband, someone's looking at, okay, you went for a job, you know, what are we eating today, and that sort of thing. And also just the thing of being able to submit in your various capacities, because, you know, the artist comes with an ego. You know?
It does.
I know you know this. Yeah, the artist comes with an
It
ego.
does,
So if you're not able to regulate that and to tame it, it can be a problem. Yeah. And
you know, there are many young guys who are joining this industry. They're just starting out, and someone wants to be like Justin. They look at you and they're like, I like this guy. I like how he does his things. I like his movies. I want to be like him. What has made you be the person you are today in the industry?
There's a beautiful book that has a line that says, woe unto him who trusts in man. And so what I would say really is, it's fine to look up to people, but we cannot be who we are not. I can't be you, you can't be me.
That's right.
We face very different challenges. Sometimes life is similar and we're dealing with the same set of circumstances or things. And I feel like you have to, number one, be present. You know, be present in your life, understand what you're dealing with and all that. Number two, what was number two? Ilikuwa imekuja hivi ikapotea. I don't know, something was walking
It
around
will come,
my
it will come back.
Yeah,
It will come back.
so yeah, you have to be present. Oh, you have to know yourself.
Amazing.
You have to know yourself. Because there are things that are not meant for you. There are things that you cannot handle and other people are doing.
And you need to be okay with that.
Yes, yes. Yes, I was with someone yesterday for another interview, and my producer actually from Shadows, he said something about thriving where you're planted. Yes, because we're not all going to be the star. We're not all going to be the millionaire. But there's a purpose for who we are and where we are. And we can thrive in our own way. So I tend to try and focus on my life, the things I need to achieve, and I don't look to the other side of the fence. Because again, something I read somewhere is that grass on the other side looks greener, but it takes the same amount of effort to weed it and to maintain it. All right? And perhaps you might not even be familiar with the grounds. At least you know your life, you know yourself. You don't know what the people are dealing with on that side. So I think we should look to each other for inspiration. It's very important because that's part of relationship, that's part of our culture. But be very careful that you're not carried away by people's highlights, especially now that everything is on social media.
Yeah, and everyone is sharing everything.
Yes, and you'll see the wonderful things that are happening to people. You don't know what they're dealing with. Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah. Just be you, focus on yourself, grow where you're planted, blossom, bloom where you're planted.
Amazing,
Yes.
amazing. Talking about acting, especially because this episode, it's more of like becoming, for the guys who are coming in the industry, becoming the best you can ever be.
Yes.
Is acting styles really matter when you're coming in this industry? Must you be able to identify what acting style works for you? Because I've seen you, the same role you pull on maybe State House, it's not the same role you pull on Disco and the Wedding Planner. It's not the same role you pull on Shimoni.
Yeah.
It's not the same role you're going to pull on Shadows. Like, you're versatile. And for you, you've been able to identify what works for you. And now when talking about acting styles, understanding what you can do, is it really important for the guys who are joining the industry?
I think when you're coming in, it's important to decide what direction you want to take. Because there are people who do just as well being cast in the same role, what we call typecasting.
Typecasting.
And they thrive on that. They make a good living. They put in the work, because we're all putting work into what we're doing. And there are people, say me for instance, I prefer to shape and to make things anew every time. But it can also become an obsession. That's, if you see the people who've gone to the extremes of what we call method acting, it can really affect you. Going into the space of your character, going to the space of the world that is the script, and sometimes having a problem coming out because you've gone too deep. So there are limits to this thing. And again, remember, it's a job. Okay? It's a job. As passionate as we are about it, you still have to come back and do life. And life is real, man. So on whether it's important to know the different styles, I think it is important. I think it would be a disservice to tell someone that don't learn about this thing. Yeah, learn as much as you can. Work as much as you can to identify these styles and all that. I haven't been particularly keen on that, to be honest, because again, I like to find what works for me. So I might not sit somewhere and have a conversation with you about Stanislavski or method acting, or who this, who that. But when you give me a script, there's an understanding I have of what is required of me, a comprehension of the material. That's the most important part. And all these other things come as an icing. Yeah, so it's important that you understand the basics of it. Understand your movement in front of a camera or on stage, understand your projection, understand your face and your body, how you look when you move. Sometimes it's important to look at a mirror and really look at yourself. Do something in front of the mirror and see what other people see.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Sticking on the same, you've been able to do quite a number of projects along the way. Which is that one project that you can say, this one opened doors for me to be who I am today?
Oh, that's a good question. I was going to say Shimoni, but when you say opened doors, to be who I am today, I would say most projects I've done though have done that, because every project is a rung on the ladder and it takes you to another level. And if you choose, it can be a rung that takes you to a different level, downwards, as opposed to upwards. I think Lies That Bind was a great project for me. Wow. It was my first solid role.
I loved it. Character. I was watching it religiously.
Yeah.
I loved Lies That Bind.
Yeah. So back in 2011, 2012, thereabouts. And it's that gave me my first award, actually.
Yes.
A Kalasha.
Kalasha.
For Best Supporting Actor. I was up against Njora, by the way. Who I've seen was your guest here.
Yes, we had Njora here.
Yes.
Wow.
Great man. So, where were we going with this?
Lies That Bind.
Lies That Bind, yes.
Made those casting directors start calling you your phone.
Yeah, well, you can say that, but it's still a struggle. You still have to audition. And
you go for auditions for most of the roles that you've done. Do you go for auditions, or you're up to that level whereby Kenyans are very funny people. We are very funny people. They keep on saying that even if we go to those auditions, there's a phrase wanasemanga, watu washachaguliwa. Watu washachaguliwa. Do you still go for auditions?
I do, when I'm called for them.
Wow.
Yeah, so, and sometimes, you know, you can just send a video. I do, however, prefer a physical audition because then you are able to have a conversation with whoever is directing you, and you're able to get a feel of the space and the story. You can ask questions when you get into that. Yeah, I do, however, really appreciate people who give me a call and say, hey, we have a script here and we'd like you to play this role. What do you think? And we begin a conversation on that. So I don't think there's anything wrong with a director saying, I've worked with Justin before and I liked him.
Yeah.
So then I should have him on my next project. It's happening even in Hollywood.
It is.
But I think it is a wrong idea to say that don't go for auditions, it's already been cast. Because my part is just one. You know, how many roles are there being cast? Okay? And maybe the role that you are going for is not what you get. And then I can tell you that for a fact. Many times I've gone for an audition and then I'm told, okay, no, we like you better for this role. So I think you need to go for auditions.
I don't know if it's true, though.
Put in the work.
For someone who has been in the industry for quite some time, there are even writers who write with your characters in mind. They're like, I'm writing this story, and this story is Justin. So when they present the script to a producer, and then they create the character bios and everything, they've actually used Justin image on that character bio. So when the producer takes it to the casting directors, they tell them, you know what, the writer had this person in mind. You can try and cast him. If not, you look for another actor that you want to play that role. So I think, again, for the guys who are coming in, it's something they should know. Sometimes, most of these stories, sometimes when writers, script writers are writing them, they have someone in mind. Let's talk about Shimoni. Shimoni premiered on the biggest it's one of the biggest international, worldwide, global film festival. And this film went on into being nominated in various film festivals across the globe. How was it working on Shimoni, and what doors has Shimoni opened for you?
Shimoni was amazing. Shimoni was amazing. I don't even know what I can say. It was a blessing. It was the role I've been waiting for all these years.
Wow.
And I think what I loved about it is that it allowed me, or it gave me the opportunity to morph in a sense, even physically. And it gave me to go into spaces that I had longed to go into. I loved the director, Angie. We still speak on phone. You know, we're still doing festival runs and all that.
Wow.
It's been, I don't know, has it been a year or two now? I forget.
Yeah, almost 2 years. It's a 22 film.
Yeah. So sorry, what is the question?
Shimoni.
Shimoni.
Yeah, Shimoni. Like, what doors has it opened for you?
Now that's a good question. I actually read an article on The Guardian the other day. There's a friend of mine, a Nigerian friend of mine, he's a film critic called Oris, and he wrote about Cannes and, was it Cannes and Berlinale, I think? And he was saying, where is the joy? Where is the African joy in these spaces? So, what happens is, most of the films that you find going onto this big
platforms,
levels, big festivals, will be films that are talking about the pain in Africa. They're talking about corruption, or they're talking about coups, or
poverty, diseases, or something.
Yes, all that stuff. Yeah. And so he was asking, well, you know, where is the joy in Africa? Like, we don't have films that are joyful coming to this level
from Africa.
Yes. And it got me thinking that after I did this was it hindsight now. I'm like, so what do I expect to come from this? Because now if someone watched Shimoni and they gave me a role, say in Hollywood or in the European market, they might be tempted to give me the role of a poor guy, you know, some guy who's starving somewhere or has a lot of problems. But what am I looking to get, you know, in terms of roles on that level? And even locally, I think I'm still, you know, trying to digest and see where do I go from here? Because sometimes you have to adjust your strategy. And so I haven't done that much work after. Well, there's shadows now.
After Shimoni now.
Yes, a lot of my work has been on stage. So I'm waiting for the doors. And I know it's going to be big doors.
They're going to open.
It's going to be big doors.
Talking about Shimoni.
Yes.
Have you received recognition in terms of awards and nominations or something like that?
Yes.
Which ones?
The nominations have been quite a few. I remember there was one from Morocco. Is it Morocco or Egypt or both? I had the opportunity to also gun for an award in Saudi Arabia. This fantastic guy, Adam Bessa, got it though, for his film Harka. Adam Bessa was in Extraction 2.
Oh.
Yes.
Man,
I met the guy.
That's the level you are.
I know people.
Honestly, locally, we respect you so much.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate
We respect you so much because do you know you've achieved a lot?
Sometimes it's hard to see. And sometimes you have to rely on people to tell you.
You've achieved a lot. You've achieved a lot. And the guys who are working behind the camera shooting this episode, I was telling them, we are having Justin Mirichii coming on the show. And everyone was like, because you've achieved a lot. We celebrate you.
Thank you.
Locally. Like here in Kenya, we celebrate you. You might know it, but you've achieved a lot. I was just going through your YouTube and I saw you have a song. Did you try your leg in singing?
Yes, I did. I
actually... album.
Niko na album.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, see, hiyo ilikuwa ya band. Group fulani hapo tulikuwa nafanya. So I was actually singing before I started acting. Before I got into acting. In fact, how I met my first director was through a fellow vocalist. His name is Odeko Chung. He's still in music as well. He's doing acting. So that's how I met my first director for screen, Mirichii.
Very nice. I know her.
Yes, yes. So music has always been a passion for me.
Do you still do it?
Music is a tricky business. I did a song the other day.
Oh, very nice.
I did a song the other day. It's called Tuekire. Can you pronounce that?
Tuekire.
Yes. Good. Very good. I should buy you a cup of coffee.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, so it's a song that speaks about the journey, like we're talking about. You know, things are going to be hard, but when you look back at what you've achieved, you know, that can really motivate you.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's on YouTube and all major streaming platforms. But music is, I think, you know, for acting, I think even as I'm sitting somewhere, I can watch people and be like, that's interesting. And I'm learning something there. Music, my gosh. I think you have to be so dedicated. It's a lot of work. I really respect the guys that have made it in music. And it's something I'm going to continue pursuing.
G-Bag na Jag. Do you listen to that?
No.
Gotha 10. It's music, bad.
Oh, okay. Okay. You know, I listen to a lot of stuff from the 80s and
you don't support local play KE
and the 90s.
Ujesikiza hizi zetu
bana. Kwani ilikuwa inaina si Mkenya?
Like
Kana Mashaka si wa Kenya.
Bana Erika ako ligi yake.
Si ndio?
He's Kenyan but I don't know, his music is a global star.
Yes.
Coming back to Shimoni, looking at the role that you were playing, I haven't watched the entire movie, but I watched just the trailer on the TIFF website.
Yeah. Shimoni.
And Shimoni,
Okay.
yes. And I saw the character. To me, I was looking at it, it took you to something, to somewhere maybe you've never been before. Is it true?
Yes, film-wise, I've never been there before.
Yeah.
But in life, you know, we go to those places all the time. Huh?
Yeah. How
Okay,
did you
maybe not
de-roll
all the
from
time.
it? How did you de-roll from it? Because
Yeah.
it's a deep role.
I think, like I said earlier, you need to know how deep you can go without damaging yourself. And I think it's just been God's gift to me that I'm able to go in and out and come out safely. So I didn't have to do that much work to de-roll because going in I understood that this is a character I'm playing. And, you know, you get on set, you take off Justin, you put on Jeffrey. And you go into that space and you're living that day as that individual. You have to remember in the evening to take off that and... I mean... Yeah, I know how it looks on the film, but I don't think I went too deep that it was detrimental to me.
You're a natural then.
Thank you.
You're a natural then.
Bless the Lord, man.
and I also watched the trailer of Shadows we are about to get into.
Yes.
The two movies, I stand to be corrected.
Yeah.
To me, looking at it, they tend to highlight on mental wellness.
Yes.
And also this is the month of June.
Yes.
We are talking about mental wellness.
Yes.
In this industry, there are moments as creatives, especially men, sometimes they don't talk. After sometimes utasikia, hey, fulani hayuko, or fulani went into depression, fulani is into alcohol. If ukichunguza unapata maybe this guy alijipata place depression yenye hakuweza kutoka himself. So he used an escape, got just to keep handling his issue, but to us we see that he's okay.
Yeah.
You as Justin, is there any moment that you've reached to a place in this industry in terms of mental wellness and you're like, no, I need to take a break from this industry?
Yes, I have. I have severally. And I think that's one of the reasons I had to take a step back. Live my life and wait for the job. Not the other way around. I think learning how to communicate and say what I feel in a sober state has been one of the greatest things that's happened to me. Because I think sometimes in that trying to deal with life, when you get inebriated or you're high on drugs, even when you have conversations, they're not for resolution, they're not for to ease you. It's more of a, you know, this is the way life is, and we continue. But you have to believe that there's a better place, that there's a better space for you, that things can get better. And I believe that.
In terms of the creatives,
Yes.
Do you think the production, especially maybe the producers, maybe who are handling specific projects, should come up with a department maybe that just highlight mental wellness, especially when you're now finished maybe doing a long TV role on TV, and then before you step out, I think if the role was really taking up too much of you yourself, that you should go to this department and have a discussion and just talk to someone. Do you think it's important for us to create those departments, or we as creatives, we can always find our own self of dealing with this monster of depression?
Well, I think it would be a good thing if productions were able to do that. I, however, would not put my life, like bank on a production to give me what I need in terms of my mental health and conversations that I need to have. I think it's important for actors as well to have their own avenues to talk to each other. Let's be real friends to each other, man. Sio ati kila siku tunaongea story ya job ama unaniona unasema hii ni aje au uko aje, niko poa. That's it. You see people day in, day out, and we never have conversations about hey, how are you doing?
Like, how really are you doing?
Yeah.
Because sometimes I have a friend, if he texts me, ananiambiaga uko aje bro, na si ya salamu. He always add that kind of statement, na si ya salamu, uko aje. Let's talk about Shadows. Tell us about Shadows. What is this project? Because we are waiting for its premiere.
Yes.
June 22nd, right?
Yes.
Yes, we are waiting for its premiere.
Yeah.
Tell us about this project.
Shadows is, as well, like we said, it's also a conversation on mental health, about men. Shadows, the title is from just life and the shadows we lag along from our past and even in our present. The things we're dealing with every day that are obscuring our vision or obscuring our life, you know, shadows, you know. There's a light, but there's
a shadow.
Yeah, there's a shadow. And dealing with that kind of baggage. So it's about a guy who's an accountant, living his best life, but, you know, if you don't deal with your past, then it has a way of pulling you back, pulling you to a stop. Sometimes even making you regress, taking you to your grave if you're not careful. So it's just that trajectory. And the thing I would say is that, at least for Shadows, is that it has a more, a better ending. I don't know how to say.
A happy ending.
A happier ending.
Yes.
Let me say. Yeah, every movie has its own ending.
Yes.
It has a happier ending than, for those of us who watch Chimoni. Yeah, I think this will be a happy ending.
A happy ending.
Yes.
During the premiere, I saw Peter King.
During which premiere?
In Nakuru. You did a premiere. Is it Nakuru or Naivasha? Nakuru.
It was, yes. We had a press, like a press day. Yeah. A
press briefing.
Yes.
And I saw you say that today, your statement. I read the statement. It was very funny.
Yeah.
Well, you say, "Mom, today I've had a press briefing.
Yes.
The rest is imekuwa interviews."
Sijawahi kuwa press briefing. Sisi hatuambiwangu kuna press briefing. Wewe unasikianga tu, oh, premiere ni hii siku. So you go for the premiere, or you go to stations, or you come to the CTB show and you have your interview.
Yeah.
But a press briefing where people are actually talking about, this is what this is our product, this is what it's about, this is what we're premiering, including an introduction of the company, and all that, and that's the beginning of the marketing.
This film was, where did you film it, the entire film?
In Nakuru.
In Nakuru. Why Nakuru and not Nairobi?
Well, the organization is based in Nakuru, number one. The money came from Nakuru, number two.
I love that.
So yeah. I think it's in their interest as well to grow their brand and grow their city. Nakuru is very vibrant, by the way.
It is.
Waimbaji wako pale, my friend. Artists galore, man.
Yeah.
So I think it was just right for it to happen in Nakuru. And for me, it was nice to work with a different set of people.
Yes.
To experience a different city. In fact, say, hey, Nairobi mkicheza. Tunaenda Nakuru, man.
Actually, most people are living Nairobi in terms of the productions nimeona of late. Most of the productions inafanyiwa outside Nairobi, and it's a good thing, because back in the days we only thought maybe it's only in the urban places like Nairobi where the stories are created.
Nakuru has urban areas as well.
Wow.
Yes.
Si mshaba.
But ni huku kwa capital Nakuru mazee sawa Nakuru.
What time we actually have a guy we used to, I think we made a film with him someday. You know, back in the days when you just used to do experimental projects, you shoot an entire movie, 1 hour, and you edit it, and sometimes you never premiere it.
Yeah.
I have a guy we used to do that with. He left Nairobi and went to Nakuru. He started up something, but he's now into music. So which means maybe there is something better happening there. Shadows is coming up.
Yes. June 22nd.
June 22nd
at
Nakuru.
Mboita Hotel.
Emboita.
Yes.
Very amazing. The tickets?
Tickets are on Ticket Base, Base with a Z-E. So it's,
Ticket Base.
Ticket B-A-Z-E. And then I think /shadows,
Okay.
something like that. If you Google it, you can find it. Go to my Instagram page or whatever social media, you'll find it there. Shoot me a DM. I'll send you the link.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And are you carrying anyone from Nairobi?
Oh, yes. Of course, I had my co-actor, Lydia Gitashu, who was in the film as well.
Amazing.
Our DP was Kirumburu, big name as well.
Yes.
We're going there. Peter King was once a Nairobi person,
Yes.
but now he defected. Yeah, but you know, he remembered us, and that's always a funny thing to say. Alitukumbuka. Na tukashoot film. So watu wa Nakuru wanabaitiko sana. Mimi nataka mazee. I'm talking to a few of my friends, even guys that I was in this last production, ilikuwa inaitwa Missing Marks ya theater. So we're planning to bundle up in a car fuel and we go. So if we can do that, amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
The guys,
watu wetu huko pia.
yes, they should come and watch it. And you see the names that you've mentioned. Oh man, there's I love Gitachu.
Yes.
I love her. I love Peter King.
There's also a guy called Eutychus.
Motanya,
I think.
Oh yeah, I know Eutychus.
Yes.
I know Eutychus.
Yes. And there's a young boy. I don't want to say his name because you will see it. But he's done an extremely good job, man. I mean, there's great talent in this country. Yes.
How was it working on this project? In terms of now you've received the script and looking at the script or looking at the story. Before getting into it, how did you prepare for your role on this project, Shadows? Because I know, as they say, when Justin is in it, definitely it's a hit.
Oh, I'm so grateful for that, man. That's a gift. So the shoot was good, was great. I was there for about a week.
Amazing.
It was slated for 7 days, then we had to do one more day. So I think it was about 8 days.
8 days.
Morning to evening, you know, the grind. I think I only had a break for like half a day, if I'm not wrong. But it was exciting. How did I prepare for it? I read the script. I, got to understand what the character was about, what it required. I spoke with the director. I go into my personal space and I prepare. Yes. I don't know how to give you any more details.
No, don't give us spoilers, because we want to come and watch the film and see what you did there.
Yes.
It's just also to prepare the audience to know.
Yes.
Justin went this length to give us a story.
Yeah.
Why should we come and watch this story?
I think it's a very straightforward character, and it's very relatable. So I didn't have as much trouble getting into that space. Because some of these are the issues I've dealt with, you know?
And they say, Sanani Kio. It's just reflecting it.
Yes.
Amazing.
So I think it's important, for us to go and watch, have conversations around mental health and mental awareness. Wanaume tuanze kuongea.
Yeah, man.
Not just about work, not just about money. Let's have conversations about family, about the things we're dealing with. Yeah.
I think it's a monster among men.
Yeah.
Because most men we just don't share what you should share. Because you talk to people now, and say, uko fit, bro, niko poa. This guy has nothing in the house.
Yeah.
Maybe ana steamer, ana Wi-Fi, ana gas, but you talk to him, he will smile with you on phone. Uko aje, niko poa, bro. And the moment you hang up, he goes back to that dark place. I think it's something that guys should talk about more often.
I think it's mistaken for strategy that utaki watu wajue what you're about. Wewe unafanyia tu vitu zako chini ya maji alafu pa. Ona Lodeki alibaendaye. Sasa lakini you need one or two people to take that journey with you. It's very important. Yeah.
Moving into the next space of your life.
Yes.
Do you think of producing or becoming a full-time director?
I don't know about full time, but I really do want to direct at some point. I've done a bit of what do you call it, acting coaching for some of my friends, and it worked beautifully.
Wow.
I've directed a few shorts as well, short films. So I'm still learning. So you know, one day when I have the language, because you have to have the language as well. Yeah, then that's what I really have to learn. When I have that, I think I will go into directing. Producing is another thing. I'm not sure I'm made for that, but we'll see. We'll see. Maybe executive producing. Tell you, hey, what's up? I have a few milli here.
Yes, to share
Take
this
that,
side.
produce something.
We shoot a movie. There's always a discussion between film students and students, industry students.
Yes.
Did you go to school for this craft?
No. I really wanted to though, and I kept pestering my mom, you know, after high school that I wanted to do journalism. But because my sister worked in Strathmore, I went there for some courses that I did not finish. It was an uphill task.
You just proved to someone who say filmmakers are dropouts.
Well, not all of them.
Not all of them.
And some of them go to film school and they thrive in that.
So just find what works for you.
Yes, and learn things on the job. That's what makes a difference. You can have all the papers in the world and be worth nothing. Yes, and you might not have those papers, but you do a grand job.
Wow.
Yes, and get awards. I was going to tell you, yeah, for Shimoni, Ekanwa in Cameroon, I got that for Best International Actor. And I got another one from, that was Cameroon. The other one was from, it's the Sotigi Award. I got that for Best East African Actor. Yes, yes.
Amazing. You are a star, and we celebrate you.
Thank you.
As filmmakers. A lot of people are looking up to you. Most producers here, you have that person they would want to work with. Anytime someone has a project, you're among those names that comes first.
Really?
You are.
Oh,
you are. You're among those names that comes first. Someone want to, you know, the benchmark. I want to work with this one, and Mirichii is always there. But there is always a journey that you've been able to go through to be where you are. There is an upcoming filmmaker, actor who wants to join this industry, and there is someone maybe who is in this industry that will want to quit. What would you advise them? Those who are joining.
Those who are joining. You know, we always say trust the process. It's a very easy thing to say, but I think it's important to go through the motions. It's not going to work for you on the first day, unless you're really lucky. Some people have that luck. But for most of us, it's going to take time to learn the craft, to learn the ins and outs, the jargon, the relationships. To learn what works for you and what doesn't. So don't be in a hurry. Don't be in a hurry. Yeah, and be humble. Take it one step at a time. Learn from the people around you. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much for gracing our show today.
Yes.
We can sit here and talk. Yeah. If we go into your life and everything that you've achieved, this episode can never be an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. It will be a long, long episode. Before we wrap up this episode, there is something in this industry that most of us shy talking about, and that is and I know you have shunned away from politics in the industry, but you can't evade from it. The issue of guilds among actors and people behind the cameras. Are you a member of any guilds?
I am a member of the Kenya Actors Guild.
Is it effective, especially when it comes to actors? In terms of, is it effective, just generally?
I think it depends on what you're looking for.
Mirichii is playing safe. Most actors, they talk about red cards. They talk about royalties. And a government cannot listen to an individual.
Yes.
A government will listen to a body. Is Kenya Actors Guild championing the needs of Kenyan actors?
I think there's a lot to be done, and there's a lot that has not been done, honestly. I think we've been busy. There's been a lot of busyness, but not enough progress, not enough ground gained for the actors. And I think the reason I don't like to talk about it too much is because I don't have a solution at the moment. You know, I can only do what I do, and you know, pray that things get better. Do what I can in my own small space, because like you said, we need to come together and decide what is good for us, what works for actors. And we've done that many times, even online. But the next step, that's always the problem. You know, the step of actually presenting a united front and telling the government, this is what we want, this is what we need. And then taking the time to push that until it goes through. Na tushikane mikono. Sio ati, just walikata ile job. Na hiyo job iko against the things that we're talking about. It is against our what do you call it? Our constitution as actors. But you will go and take it because you want to eat today. Fine, you eat today. Watch this space. Watch the people who are looking at really investing. Investing for the future. Me, I want to eat for a long time. And I want my kids after me to eat. Yeah, so not just for today. So I will not play the game with rules that I don't agree with, or go into spaces that I don't agree with, just to make a buck for today. Kesho iko.
Do you ever say no to some roles?
Absolutely, all the time. Yeah.
Amazing.
You know, again, this guy called Denzel, there's something he said, he made a career out of saying no. And it's a mind-boggling thing. But you can't take everything. Yeah. Yeah. You have to decide whether you blow warm or whether you blow hot or cold. You can't be warm. Yes.
Justin Mirichii, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for gracing this show.
Thank you.
And I wish you the best in all your endeavors, in your future projects. On your journey on becoming a director, we want to watch your creations. Appreciate you, and on this show, as much as you don't have physical flowers, but we give you your flowers while you're still here with us. Thank you so much for gracing this show.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Guys, follow Justin Mirichii across all social media platforms. You are on Instagram?
Yes, at Mirichii, or if you search for Justin Mirichii, there is only one.
Yes, only one.
On the entire planet.
Only one?
Yes.
TikTok?
No, I'm not on TikTok. Maybe someday. I don't know.
You should join. It's a huge platform.
Oh, okay.
It's a huge platform. And it's a huge platform, especially for creatives.
Well, you can show me how to work it.
I'll give you a social media manager.
Excellent. Excellent.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us across all social media platforms so that we can keep on bringing you guests like Justin Mirichii. And Justin is doing the premiere. Remember, the dates are 22nd of June this year, and our CTB show, we are buying one ticket for someone to come and watch.
Awesome.
Your movie.
Awesome.
Yes. What you need to do, watch the trailer and tell us what role is Justin playing in Shadows and what's the movie all about. And we'll give you a ticket to go and watch the premiere. It's the world premiere. It's happening for the very first time and you want to be there. Just watch the trailer and tell us what role is Justin playing and what's the movie all about. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great time.